Reddit answers, what's the strangest thing you've accidentally walked in on? Ever tried accidentally walking on something so strange that you end up scratching your heads? Well, these Redditors are no different. Before we start, subscribe to Starface Productions and give us a thumbs up. Also, hit the bell icon for more Reddit updates. So, Redditors, what's the strangest thing you've accidentally walked in on? Hello, Megaphone. A gay blow while my wasted straight friend cheered them on. Oversurge replied, I mean, sometimes a little bit of encouragement is needed. Philly selfie. My roommate had a bit of a mental breakdown. We were at the high pressure end of semester. She had stopped eating much and had lost a lot of weight. She was talking about dropping out even though she'd worked her whole life to get where we were. So one day, I come home from class and find her in the living room tap dancing. I had to take a minute to register what I was even seeing. I'm like,
Hey, how are you feeling? Is that tap dancing you're doing?
Turns out her mom had come from another state to support her, and being a dance teacher, had taught her a tap dance to take her mind off things. Again upon a time, my cat pooping with his front paws in the litter box and his rear paws on the tile. Ollie Leo TD. My former roommate masturbating with my cucumber. I no longer eat cucumber and she and I are no longer roommates. Big Money Matt. A man in a leather dog mask exchanging a duffel bag with another man in nice clothes. I was biking on a local trail and passed this. I don't know what was happening to this day. Just really triggered my flight instinct. Teary-eye burning face replied, probably some weird drug deal. Happy Squid 14 replied, probably some guy in BDSM community picking up a bag of toys equipment from his boyfriend. A Vixen Distraction replied, this was most likely a financial domination fetish thing. Nothing to worry about. Black cats all the time. As a teenager, I briefly worked at a child care center located in a Baptist church. Not a Baptist, just needed a job. One of the previous employees unexpectedly passed away right before I started. I walked into the office to clock in for my very first day, and the priest of the church was talking to the childcare director. I assumed the two of them were talking about funeral plans for this employee when the priest said,
I don't care. This isn't my funeral.
Right when I walked into the office. When they noticed me walk in the door, they both turned bright red and were silent. So weird. GRDVRS replied, makes me wonder if the priest wasn't a Baptist either. Just needed a job. Holier than Pop-Tart. Not exactly strange, but I was on a field trip with my school, and we stayed in a hotel with the most convoluted layout I've ever seen. So I was late to breakfast and trying to get down to the third floor. The elevators were full of hungry students, so I took the stairs. Except the doors on the stairwell had no signs on them. I counted 3 floors down and entered. I walked into what looked like some type of worker room because it was full of adult men standing around a board. It looked like they were having a meeting. All of them turned to stare at me. They started chuckling as I slowly backed out of the room. It must have been one of those half floors that are off limit in elevators. 2 tries later, I found the correct floor. Song of Silence. They were discussing if they should put signs or not on the stairwell doors due to the increasing amount of hungry students getting lost in the stairs. Then you walked in. I had been painting a house for someone before they moved in. Since it was empty, I had left some equipment there overnight. When I came back the next morning, I opened the door to the bedroom where my tools were, and there was a 3-foot-tall, creepy-looking Santa statue just inside the door. It hadn't been there the day before, and there was no other sign the owners had been there overnight. Of course, it startled me, and I may have yelled a bit. Turned out, the stupid was activated by sound and started dancing and playing
He sees you when you're sleeping.
Lil Space Boy. My cat full on using the toilet for number 2. This is not something I've trained him to do, nor is it anything I've seen him come close to accomplishing since. That one fuckhead Jose was at a party and I went to look for my friend so we could go back to our dorms. Entered the wrong room, found 2 fat guys in white balaclava masks and briefs slapping each other in various parts of their bodies. I left when I saw them turn to me and one of them slapped the other man boobs. Had to burst out laughing as their eyes had that
"You didn't see anything look."
Bluebird GM. The remains of a bachelorette party in my hotel room after I went out with the groom and his friends for his bachelor party. Women were passed out, women were throwing up, sliced limes and booze were all over the room, and porn was playing on the TV rented by the women. I had to pay for it when we checked out. Spoiksty replied, "Say women one more time." Jane Bukowski. At a former job, walked into the smoking area to find a dude bro type co-worker giving himself an extremely animated pep talk, full on chest thumping, fist bumping himself, high fives to no one, all while shouting,
"Yeah, you got this, bro. Yeah, bro. Come at me, bro. Yeah, gotta get at him."
We held eye contact as I backstepped through the door and slowly shut it. Never spoke of it, but I tried to avoid speaking to him even before this incident. The second direction. Walked into the 5th grade bathroom as a 3rd grader and saw some dude 10 feet away from the urinal sniping that shit from long range. Bob Chaos replied, "Did you clap?" Happy Squid 14. I was driving by on the bus when I saw an obese man with not only no legs, but no entire lower body being lowered into an ambulance. There was no blood. I wish I knew what happened. Stouty Teapot. Didn't walk it on it, but when I was a kid, my family moved across states. We had to stop at a mechanic rest stop to fix our U-Haul. So as my mom and I were waiting in the car, a trucker got out of his truck in a bright pink leotard and tutu and went about his business. We didn't know what to make of it. Probably weird trucker stuff. Fubar. So I live in California and this is fairly recent. I was biking down a street I usually go down to get my $5 Yum Box from Asia Delight. Well, the street I usually go down is closed, so I had to take the long way around. I don't like doing that because there's a club on that street with a lot of loud-ass annoying people, but I had no other choice. As I'm passing the club, some ass cuts me off to park, and I barely avoid him, but I hit the building next to the club. As I'm walking by the club, I see this morbidly obese woman sucking a midget's in the alley. What makes this even worse was that there was a kid about 17 or so, just watching and jerk dry with a monster schlong as long as his fucking arm. And Sven's Gurka. Not my story, but I really want to share it. A friend of mine works on a cruise ship as a housekeeper. They start making beds in the cabins a few hours before arrival. He knocked on a door saying,
"Housekeeping! Housekeeping!"
to which there was no response whatsoever. So he opened the door with his own key, only to see a guy passed out drunk on the floor and another dude taking a dump into his ear. Stan Matters. Two drunk straight guys giving each other a handjob. Susina. A guy just pooping in the middle of a parking lot. A couple weeks ago I was in Portland and I went to a paid parking lot where I was parked. My parking pass was about to wear out. I heard really loud grunting and saw him. He kept grunting, no attempt to hide. There were bushes nearby. There were more secluded locations than the middle of the open space where he was pooping. We briefly made eye contact. Awkward. And that's it. For those who had the strangest encounters, we hope they're not traumatized. Got an experience you'd like to share? Write a comment down below. Also, subscribe to our channel, Starface Productions. Hit the thumbs up and give that bell icon a nice ring by clicking it. Bye!